Hi, I'm Kate and welcome to my channel. This is my first video, so today I'm going to start by doing the new to booktube check by between chapters. I thought I'd start off with kind of an introduction to me and what my channel is going to be about. And this is a really good tag for that, so I think I'll just get straight into it. Okay, the first question is, where are you joining us from? I'm from Surrey in England. You might not have heard of it, it's just outside London. It's where Harry Potter is from. Question 2, how old are you? I'm 21. I turned 21 in August. Question 3, why did you join booktube? I'm joining booktube because at the moment I run a book blog with some of my friends, but I'm finding that some of the things I read, I don't have enough to say about them to do a whole blog post on them. And at the moment as well, I'm trying to read a lot because I have a really terribly huge number of books on my bookshelf, and I really want to get rid of some of them. And I think having a booktube channel where I have to continually kind of make videos will really encourage me to continually keep reading. Question 4, what is the meaning behind your channel name? So my channel name is Arty Gossip. It's actually from one of the books that I read for my university degree, I think in first year. I can't remember which book it's from, but it was a book about studying the humanities, and at the end of this essay the author talked about how a lot of other kind of disciplines think that humanities subjects are just arty gossip because we just talk about books and films and that kind of thing. And I just really liked that kind of phrase, so I kept it. I will try and find out which book it's from and who said it, because I feel kind of bad that I don't know, but it was so long ago that I read it, but it really kind of stuck with me and it's something that I kind of remembered. I actually studied English with film studies at university, so it's quite an applicable quote to me as a humanities or ex-humanities student. Question 5 is, what type of books do you read or want to talk about on here? So I read quite an eclectic selection of books. There's not kind of one genre that I stick to. I read quite a lot of classics. I read quite a lot of sci-fi as well. I read some fantasy, I read some contemporary. I read a little bit of YA, kind of a bit of everything. I have quite a lot of non-fiction on my shelf, so unfortunately I don't actually read that much non-fiction, which is something I want to change in 2017. Question 6 is, what are some of your favourite authors? That's a tough one. I'm not sure. I guess I'm going to start by saying Agatha Christie, who writes lots and lots of murder mysteries. She is the queen of crime. If you haven't heard about her, you should definitely check her out. I really enjoy her books. They're just a fun read. I'm really crap at guessing who did it though, which is half the fun, but I'm really bad at that. I can never figure it out because they're such good mysteries. So yeah, I enjoy her books. I'm trying to think. I have a lot of favourite books, but a lot of the authors who wrote my favourite books I haven't actually gotten around to checking out some of their other work yet. Question 7, what is the last book you read? So the last book I read is The Sense of an Ending by Julian Barnes. This won the Man Booker Prize in 2011. It's pretty short. This is one that I've had on my shelves for a while and I just kind of wanted to read it and get rid of it. It's about this guy whose old school friend started dating his ex-girlfriend while they were in university, and then the friend killed himself. And all these years later, after the main character has grown up and retired, his friend and his ex-girlfriend kind of come back into his life in an interesting way. It was alright, but probably not one of my favourite books, and it's not really one that I see myself rereading anytime soon, so I think I'm probably going to get rid of it. Question 8 is, what are you currently reading? I'm currently reading The Angel Chronicles Volume 1 by Nancy Holder. This is a tie-in novel for the Buffy the Vampire Slayer series. I really like tie-in novels, which is quite a unusual taste in books, I guess. I think a lot of people ignore these. They're kind of like glorified fan fiction because they're basically stories based off TV shows, but these ones are sort of authorised and published in book form, which is nice. This is a series of 3 novelizations of different episodes of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It's okay, but it's kind of quite a standard novelization, and I was hoping that there might be a little something extra, like maybe that they were told from Angel's perspective or something and they're not. But I will say that Nancy Holder, who's the author of this, has a really good kind of writing style and a good voice for the characters of the series. Because it's quite hard to get down both Joss Whedon's kind of idiosyncratic way of writing and also that kind of 90s teen vocabulary is something that other tie-in authors for Buffy the Vampire Slayer have struggled with, and I think Nancy Holder does it really well. Question 9 is, what do you use for bookmarks? As you can see from this one, at the moment I use train tickets for bookmarks. I get the train a lot to go to work, so I have a lot of train tickets hanging around and I tend to use those for bookmarks. I also have a few of those pre-book depository bookmarks. Question 10, show us your current TBR pile. So I'm hoping to do a video sometime in January of my January TBR, so I'll start by showing you my TBR for the rest of December because I'm filming this a couple of days before the end of December. So the first thing I'm hoping to read is Stories of Your Life and Others by Ted Chiang, or Arrival. This is the book of short stories one of which the film Arrival is based on, so it's a collection of science fiction short stories. I think there's about 10 or so in here. And they sound quite interesting because they sound a bit more kind of philosophical than some of the other science fiction that I read. So I'm looking forward to getting to this, also because I want to see the film and I haven't seen it yet. The next book I'm trying to read in December is going to be The Magician's Nephew by C.S. Lewis. I absolutely loved the Narnia series when I was younger, and I haven't revisited it in a while, so I want to get to this. Me and my sister are both reading them and we're going to kind of discuss them as we go through the series, so I'm looking forward to reading this. This is one of my favourites as well. The next one I want to get to is Rip Van Winkle and Other Stories by Washington Irving. This is just a book that I kind of have sitting on my shelves that I want to get rid of, but I do think it's going to be quite interesting, especially because one of the stories is The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, which is one that I really want to read, but I'm not so interested in some of the other ones, but it is quite thin, so hopefully it won't take very long. And the last book I have, which is one that I probably won't actually end up getting to in December, it'll probably be a January book, is About a Boy by Nick Hornby. Again, this is a book that I have on my shelves that I just kind of want to get rid of. I haven't read it yet, but I have read a couple of other things by Nick Hornby. His writing is alright. I quite enjoy his books, but I wouldn't say he's my favourite author or anything. I have seen the film version of this and I thought it was pretty good, so I just kind of want to check it out, see whether I like it, but I don't see it being a book that I keep hanging around very long after I've finished reading it. Question 11 is, which do you prefer? Oh, it's like 3 questions. Which do you prefer, hardcovers or paperbacks? I definitely prefer paperbacks. I really don't like reading hardback books. I don't know, something about them I find really kind of clunky, and it's really hard to take them places because I read a lot on the train, and it's hard to like fit them in my bag, and they're just big and they don't fit on my shelves, and yeah, I'm just not a fan of hardbacks. I always wait until the paperback comes out. Ebooks or physical books? I don't really have a preference, but I guess I'd say physical books just because I do like having something physical in my hand to read, but I also do have a Kindle and I find reading on it really easy, and I do like that the books, once you finish them, don't kind of take up any space. That's really handy, and I definitely take that on holiday with me a lot because it means I can take lots of books, but I only need to take the small kind of Kindle. So I do find ebooks quite handy. Generally though, I don't like spending, if I'm going to spend money on a book, I prefer to get the physical copy. I don't know, I feel like spending money on an ebook, especially there's some which are quite expensive, they're like £6 or £8 for the ebook. I don't know, it just feels strange to me because it's just a file, it's just a digital file, whereas at least with a physical book you have like an object that you can kind of hold and display in your home, so it's a bit different. So I guess when I'm spending money I prefer to buy physical books, but I don't mind reading either. Do you prefer owning or borrowing books? Again, I don't really have a preference, but I think I probably own more books than I borrow. I should really start using our local library more. I definitely used the library while I was at uni quite a bit, but I haven't really got into using our local library again. And also I have so many books on my shelves at the moment that I'm kind of just reading the books I own because I want to get through them, and I am getting rid of some of them, and especially now that I've got so many books, I'm like, I should start borrowing some, especially ones that I don't think I'm gonna keep for a long time. Question 12, what book or series got you into reading? So I guess the books that really got me into reading are the Chronicles of Narnia, because I read them when I was about 7, I think. And I was just so chuffed with myself when I finally finished reading all 7 books of the series. Those are the first books I really remember reading, and also it's like the first series that really kind of captured my imagination and I really enjoyed. And I kind of raced through them because I wanted to find out what happened. So I definitely say that one. Also, I would say A Series of Unfortunate Events, which I read when I was in primary school and I think the beginning of high school as well, is a series that kind of really kept me loving reading, because those books are really literary in a way, because they really go into like kind of words and what words mean, and they also have like a lot of literary references, and they're also kind of about books themselves. All the protagonists kind of love reading, and also Harry Potter obviously, but I feel like Harry Potter is almost too obvious because everyone kind of loved Harry Potter when they were younger. Question 13 is, how did you discover booktube? I guess I discovered booktube through my sister because she watches a few booktubers, and then I asked her which one she liked, and then I started watching a few and finding other ones as well. I just find it really interesting and a really good place to get book recommendations and to like look at other people's book collections and all their kind of pretty covers. So I really enjoy that. But yeah, I guess that's how I discovered booktube. Question 14 is, what challenges do you think you'll face with your own channel? I think my biggest challenge is definitely going to be managing to upload fairly frequently, because I don't have a huge amount of spare time at the moment because I'm currently working and I have quite a long commute to get into work. I spend about an hour and a half each way getting there, which does give me a lot of time to read on the train and on the bus, but it does mean I don't have a lot of spare time to film videos or edit or anything like that. So I think everything pretty much is going to have to be done at the weekend, which may end up being a bit of a squeeze, but I'll see how I get on with it. The last question, question 15, is where else can we find you? So I'm on Goodreads at _fruitkate, I think. And I'm also on Twitter with the same handle, and on Instagram as well, I think. I will link those all down below, where you can find me, but please add me on Goodreads because I want more friends on Goodreads, because I don't have very many at the moment, and I find it really interesting seeing what other people are reading, what they want to read, and like how far they are through things. I don't know, I just like stalking other people's reading processes. So that's everything for the tag. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope you've learnt a little bit more about me. I would love to learn a little bit more about you, so if you leave a comment down below telling me a little bit about yourself, maybe what your favourite book is, what you like about reading, or answering any of these questions, I'd be really interested to hear your answers. I think that's everything for today, and hopefully I will be with you next week with another video. Fingers crossed. Goodbye!